All right, here with head coach Josh Niblett, Hoover High School. Coach, first of all, congratulations making it to another championship football game here in Auburn and the first ever Super 7 this year.
Yeah, to God be the glory, man. It's just a blessing. And great group of kids and coaches. And, you know, it's been one of those years where, you know, we kind of had our ups and downs as far as starting off 0-2. And, you know, so everybody, you know.
Panicked.
Yeah, everybody kind of freaked out. And, but, you know, sometimes you got to go through those kind of things to figure out and appreciate what you have. And, you know, we're able to get back to the basics, fun and identity, and get back to the culture that we've built within our program. So it's been something special this year.
Well, it's been a special time in Hoover for a while, Coach. And talk about that, the start being 0-2, and like you said, people start to wonder because you've won so much. Well, what's going on? What's wrong this year? Well, the common denominator, you played two very tough teams out of state, and you look at the last time you guys lost an in-state game, you have to go back a while. It's to a Prattville team that we'll talk about here in just a minute. But starting out 0-2, talk about what that did for the chemistry of this team.
Well, I think the biggest thing is we have a culture that we've set within our program. We have a standard that we want to live by, we want to play by, whether we're in the meeting room, practice, or in the hallways of the school. So, you know, and we didn't play up to those standards. You know, at somewhere we kind of lost a little bit of that. Whether, you know, we listed all that outside stuff, because there's certain people that have put expectations on you that don't know anything about your program. You know, there's outside people that think, oh, there's a national championship, or hey, why don't you keep the streak alive? And if you're not too careful, and you got recruiting services that tell your players how good they are.
Yeah.
So if you're not careful, you'll listen to all that stuff, and before long you'll start believing it. And then when you start believing it, there's a lot of times when you start believing that stuff, you kind of forget what you did to get there. So, you know, I think it was one of those wake-up calls for us within our program. But I've been proud of how we've responded to it, and I think you got to go through some adversity to really appreciate what you got. And our kids understood that, and so did our staff, and I think so did our program.
You talked about being a little bit hungry, and sometimes when you're on top, as much as you guys have been, complacency can creep in sometimes.
Well, but that's one thing we're not going to let creep in. Yep. Now. I'm not going to say that we were complacent, but I think I try to do as good a job as I can with our kids to keep them hungry and keep them humble, no matter what it is. So every week we've got something that we're going to make sure we zero in on that we got to get better at.
And that's where I was going with it.
Yeah.
Not saying that you guys did get complacent, but saying that how do you prevent that from happening? And obviously you guys have a program that instills different things and different characteristics to keep the hunger in this program, because you guys.
If you came to practice and watched our guys love to compete against each other. So we go ones-on-one, just like a Friday night game. Even if we're doing a pace period or an inside drill, or it's just team third down or pass under pressure. So our kids love to compete. So you got to give them something. And I think week in and week out, I try to find a way to trigger our kids to make sure we keep them hungry, keep them competitive, give them another kind of goal or something else to shoot for. And our kids are, I guess you'd say, they're always seeking greatness, so they're always looking for new ways to take something and do it better than it's ever been done before.
Coach, you know, being able to coach high school students, it's an honor, and it's a blessing to be able to see those guys grow and become men and what they take from the program. Talk about some of the kids on this particular team that you look to as leaders or leaders on the field for you.
Well, you know, I think one of our team leaders is R.J. Arnold. You know, our Mike linebacker, just an unbelievable kid. He's a great leader by example, but he's also a kid that doesn't mind being vocal. You know, we got other guys on our football team. You know, Jack Hutchinson, our quarterback, you know, has been a guy that's played for us for a while. You know, he's been here, he's done that. So, you know, those guys can lean on him. And then, you know, you got other guys that haven't played as much that have been waiting their opportunities, and now they're getting them. You know, Alex Elam is a 3-year starter for us. And he's kind of the attitude of our team. And he's a guy that'll vocally, you know, if he's got a guy that maybe he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing, you know, he's a guy he doesn't mind standing alone and say, hey, look, you know, we got to do this way. We got to do this way. We got to pick it up a notch. And, you know, he's been a big team leader for us. But I would say Alex and RJ are two of the biggest leaders we got on our football team.
Coach, let's talk about the game coming up against Prattville. Ironically, the more things change, the more they really stay the same.
Yeah.
First time a 7A classification in this state. And lo and behold, it's Hoover and Prattville. And, you know, you look at what Prattville's done over the decade, look at what you guys have done over the decade. You two have been the top of the highest classification in this state for a long time. Been some epic battles against you guys, them winning some, you guys winning some. Just a lot of people talked this past week about how fitting it is for Hoover and Prattville to be in this game.
No, there's no doubt. I mean, they've got unbelievable tradition. You know, they have a culture they've set there. And you know, it's a blessing to get to play them. But I mean, what better way to start off a 7A than two teams going against each other that have pretty much kind of consumed the decade.
That's right.
As far as played each other. So, you know, we're looking forward to it. You know, and I'll be honest with you, I don't know much about them. I just know they'll have a good football team. I know they're very athletic. I know they got a lot of speed. So, you know, we'll start kind of looking at some things. I think the biggest thing with the 7A game is, hey, we're in the finals, now we've got a week off, you know, and so you got to do a great job of planning. You don't want to do too much, but you don't want to lose your edge. So, but, you know, we feel very blessed and very much respect their program and what they've been able to do.
Well, Coach, in closing here, again, congratulations on making the first ever 7A championship game. And I know the history and the precedents that you guys have set at Hoover. You got business to take care of. I know you guys aren't happy with where you are now. You want to get one more win and finish this thing off. Any closing thoughts on the season and what you have coming in?
I just think, you know, it's been a blessing. And like I said, to God be the glory. You know, I'm blessed to be where I am. Coaching the kids I get to coach. You know, in my coaching career, I've been able to be around some great kids and some great players and some great coaches and great men. And I think if you surround yourself with good people, good things will happen to you. And you got to surround yourself with those people that have the same goals and want to reach the same heights that you reach. And I think if you do that together, it's unlimited on what you can accomplish. And these kids have been limitless, but they've also been necessary. And we talk about being necessary in our program. And what that means is when you walk into a room, is it necessary for you to be in there? And we think in this state, we want to be necessary. So, you know, to God be the glory, man. Looking forward to playing Prattville.
Coach, congratulations on an outstanding season. Good luck to you guys in the 7A championship.
Well, thank you. Thank you for what you guys do for high school football.
Thank you, Coach.